Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing good. So, this webinar is going to be about Generation Z's expectations in the workplace, presented by me, Aya Boudad. I'm a sophomore majoring in communication studies and minoring in HRG. It will also be presented by Almaz Dolmi, Fatem Zahra El Khonshafi, Salma Habhouba, and Salma Hudayki. Now I'm gonna let my teammates present themselves, started with Salma.
Hello everyone, my name is Salma. I'm a sophomore at Al Akhawan University. I'm majoring in artificial intelligence and minoring in communication.
Hello everyone, my name is Almas Dolmi. I'm a junior. I'm majoring in HRD and minoring in BA Studies.
Hello everyone, my name is Fatem Zahra Khonshafi. I'm majoring in BA and minoring in marketing.
Hello everyone, my name is Salma Hudaygi. I'm majoring in finance and minoring in communication.
Thank you, girls. So this webinar is going to be supervised by our professor, Dr. Abderrahim Agnau, and it is going to tackle 4 main points. The first one is going to be understanding Gen Z motivation and what they value in the workplace. Then we're going to see how to adapt the workplace to meet Gen Z's needs. Then we're going to see how to promote inclusivity and diversity in Gen Z workplaces. And finally, we're going to prepare managers to lead Gen Z's employees. Now, Gen Z's, Generation Z, born between the mid 1990 and the mid 2010, is the youngest generation to enter the workforce. As the first fully digital generation, Gen Zers are often characterized as being tech savvy, entrepreneurial, and socially conscious. They have grown up in a rapidly growing digital world shaped by globalization, automation, and the gig economy. As they enter the workforce, they bring with them a unique set of values and expectations that will reshape the workplace in the years to come. One of the defining characteristics of Gen Z is their motivation to make a difference in today's world. They have grown up in a time of global unrest and are heavily aware of the social, economic, and environmental challenges facing our planet. As a result, many Gen Zers are driven by a sense of purpose and a desire to create a positive change in their communities and beyond. This motivation is reflected in their career aspirations, with many Gen Zers seeking out jobs that align with their values and also allows them to make a meaningful impact. In order to attract and retain Gen Z talent, companies will need to adapt to their values and expectations, obviously. So, this will require a shift in the way we think and we view work, from a traditional job to a more flexible and purpose driven model of job. Companies will also need to offer growth opportunities and a powerful sense of community and belonging. So they will need to embrace new technologies and ways of working, such as remote work and collaboration tools to accommodate Gen Z's preferences for digital communication and work life balance. Overall, the workplace of the future will need to be more inclusive, adaptable, and responsive to the needs of the next generation. By embracing the values and motivation of Gen Z, companies can create a more engaged and productive workforce while also contributing to a better, more sustainable world. So, following up, we will explore the values and motivation of Gen Z with Selma.
Okay, so I will talk about the Gen Z motivations and what they value in the workplace. The Gen Z workforce is quite clear about what they believe to be important in life. This younger generation typically chooses to work for organizations where they feel their ideals and prospects are recognized. They are more concerned with balancing their personal and professional lives. So, what motivates Gen Z in the workplace? Value matching, learning outcomes and personal growth, promotes interpersonal relationships, implements a flexible work setting to reduce burnouts. Okay, so learning outcomes and personal growth, the degree of learning and development that a working position can provide aligns with this generation desire to advance through teamwork. Value matching, the principles a company represents are important to Gen Z. They should demonstrate an ethical framework that considers both the well-being of workers and the effects on business operations. Promote interpersonal relationships. While Gen Zers may spend most of their time communicating online, they occasionally seek real interactions. They help to create and strengthen relationships, since Generation Z is typically considered an informal generation. Gen Z employees may make the workplace tense for Gen Z employees to effectively motivate Gen Zers at work, engage them in face-to-face conversations, and eliminate the distance between the employees and the employer. Okay, so implement a flexible work setting to reduce burnout. Working remotely has also shown to be a successful strategy for maintaining Gen Z's motivation for their jobs. Gen Z workers now have more freedom because they are not restricted to the typical 9-to-5 workday, and this flexible work environment allows them to manage their work and personal lives without becoming burned out. Understand them to motivate them. Last but not least, Generation Z brings a fresh, dynamic, and way of working to the workforce. Understanding this new workforce's characteristics, how to interact with Gen Z at work, and how to manage them effectively are essential for managers if they want to boost employee productivity. Okay, and now we are going to move to what Gen Z value in the workplace. First, inclusive company culture. Conversation about subjects like homosexual marriage, racial justice, and gender inclusivity have influenced Generation Z, with half of them identifying as non-white. They are also the generation with the greatest ethnic diversity. So it should come as no surprise that this generation values diversity, equity, and inclusion. More than 2/3 of Gen Z say that they would definitely be more likely to apply for a position if the organization values diversity and inclusion. In contrast, 48% of Gen Z candidates would turn down an offer from a company that either takes no position on diversity and inclusion or supports one that is inconsistent with their values. Growth opportunities. Gen Zers care about finding a job that fits with their personal values. They also want companies to invest on them. Gen Zers want to be in a position where they feel challenged or are constantly learning new skills while using their already acquired ones. They go on to add that Gen Z workers desire to reach their full potential. Okay, so collaboration and autonomy. Gen Zers value cooperation because it allows them to collaborate with people from different backgrounds and experiences and learn from them. They can learn new things from one another when different information and abilities are combined, whether virtually or in person, at the same time. Gen Z also values their autonomy in figuring out what work styles maximize their productivity. Employers need to get their Gen Z employees involved in team projects to show their value as Gen Zers' contributions, while also giving them space to grow as individuals. Okay, so stability and balance is also one thing that Gen Z value in the workplace. They are seeking benefits that will stabilize their life. They value things like healthcare benefits and, more significantly, possibilities for a professional development with the aim of getting their dream job in the shortest amount of time possible, since are seeking for benefits that will make their life stable.
Okay, thank you so much, Selma. So, what we can conclude from Selma's part is that understanding Gen Z values and motivations at workplace means understanding their values of inclusivity, transparency, flexibility, motivation for growth, learning, and meaningful work that aligns with their personal values. Now we are going to move on to Fatim Zahra on adapting the workplace to meet Gen Z's needs.
So, as all we know, organizations are beginning to recognize that meeting the needs of Gen Z employees is essential to their success. This generation has different needs and expectations that previous generations and employers must adjust to attract and retain this talent. So, companies are now adapting their workplaces to meet the needs of Gen Z employees, such as providing a flexible work schedule, increased autonomy, and the use of technology to enable collaboration and communication. First of all, organizations are recognizing that Gen Z employees prefer more autonomy and flexibility in the workplace. Providing more autonomy and flexibility in the workplace is increasingly important in the order to attract and retain talented young professionals. Gen Z workers are looking for a workplace that offers them the freedom to make decisions and complete tasks in their own way. So, as well as the flexibility to work in a way that suits their lifestyle, employers can facilitate this by offering more flexible hours, remote working opportunities, and options for employees to take time off when needed. So, additionally, employers should strive to provide Gen Z workers with the opportunity to take on leadership roles and actively contribute to decision making. With these supportive structures in the place, Gen Z workers will be more satisfied and productive in their roles, which will result in increased job satisfaction and loyalty. Moving to the second point, and in addition to providing flexibility and autonomy, organizations are also using technology to facilitate collaboration and communication. Actually, organizations are beginning to understand the importance of using technology to facilitate collaboration and communication with Generation Z. By leveraging workspaces, organizations can better engage with Gen Z and capitalize on the advantages of their digital fluency. These tools allow for simultaneous collaboration, communication, and feedback from multiple members of a team, enabling Gen Z employees to participate in projects from any location. Additionally, organizations have the ability to use technology to track the progress of projects, allowing them to more effectively manage their teams. And also, by leveraging technology, organizations are able to successfully engage with Gen Z and make the most of their unique talents. Without denying that Gen Z to take ownership of their projects and make decisions in an effective way, in workplaces, because it shows a sense of trust and respect. It also encourages creativity, innovation, and problem solving. So when Gen Z are given the opportunity to make decisions, they gain confidence and a great sense of purpose. This leads to increased motivation, which can lead to better performance. Furthermore, when Gen Zs have ownership of their projects, they can take pride in their accomplishments and feel a sense of accomplishment. By giving them the freedom to make decisions, organizations can help them and they can help engineers tap into their unique skills, ideas, and perspective, which can lead to greater innovation and efficiency. Finally, creating a culture and environment that is conducive to Gen Z employees is important because it helps to foster an atmosphere of inclusion and acceptance. Gen Z employees are coming into the workforce with a different set of values and expectations than their predecessors. They are looking for they, They are looking for companies that recognize and value their unique perspectives. And they want to be able to collaborate and innovate in welcoming environment. In a welcoming environment by providing an environment that is tailored to their needs. Companies can ensure that they are getting the most out of their Gen Z employees and that they are more likely to stick around for the long haul. So, if you want to conclude, Gen Z is a new generation of workers that require different approaches to management and workplace culture than those of previous generations. So, companies and organizations must be willing to adapt their workplace to meet the needs and expectations of Gen Z if they want to attract and retain talent. So this includes providing flexible work schedule, more opportunities for collaboration and feedback. And that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Fatem Tara. It's fine. We had a little laugh. It's completely fine. Now we are going to move on. We are going to move on to Alma's part on promoting inclusivity. But before, I would like to summarize a little bit Fatem Tara's parts. So basically, she said that adapting the workplace to meet Gen Z's needs should prioritize diversity and inclusion, offer flexible work arrangements, provide opportunities for skill development and growth, and demonstrates a commitment to social and environmental responsibility. Now we are going to move on to Almaz's part on promoting inclusivity and diversity of Gen Z. Let me add
So, hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about about promoting inclusivity and diversity in Gen Z workplaces. So Gen Z are entering the workforce as the newest and youngest generation, promoting inclusivity and diversity as it is crucial for creating a positive work culture and ensuring that all employees feel valued and respected. Gen Z values diversity because it is the most diverse generation yet, with a greater understanding and appreciation for different cultures, backgrounds, and identities. That is why they are more likely to prioritize workplaces that reflect and celebrate diversity and inclusivity. As we can see here, so according to a recent Monster poll, 83% of Gen Z said they consider an employer's commitment to diversity and inclusion to work. So according to a different survey, 75 of Gen Zs indicated they would think twice before applying to a company if they weren't happy with the diversity and inclusion. And in order to compete with other employers, this has compelled businesses to adopt diversity and equality and inclusions. So promoting inclusivity and diversity in workplace helps create a diverse and inclusive hiring process, provide also inclusion training, encourage open communication, celebrate diversity, foster mentorship and networking, and offer flexible work arrangements. Gen Z is also known for valuing work-life balance and flexibility. They want to be able to work from home or work flexible hours. Employers should consider offering flexible work arrangements to attract and retain Gen Z employees. Gen Z is the first generation to have grown up with technology, and they are comfortable with digital tools and platforms and expect their employers to be as well. Employers should invest in modern technology and digital tools to support Gen Z employees' productivity and engagement. The Gen Z employees want regular feedback and recognition for their work. Employers should establish a culture of regular feedback and recognition, providing both positive reinforcement and constructive criticism. And they are also known for valuing collaboration and teamwork. And the employer should create opportunities for team projects and group work and provide tools and platforms that support communication and collaboration. And Gen Z are more likely to amplify the voices of underrepresented groups, such as people of color, the LGBTQ plus community, and people with disabilities. They are vocal advocates for diversity and inclusivity in the workplace and expect businesses to follow suit. And by understanding and embracing these values, employers can effectively engage and retain Gen Z employees in the workplace. Thank you. That is all for me.
Okay, thank you so much, Almaz. So, Almaz's part, we're gonna re-summarize it real quick. It is all about promoting inclusivity and diversity in Gen Z workplaces. Employers should actively seek out and hire diverse candidates, create a safe, and welcoming environment for all employees, provide diversity and inclusion training, and offer opportunities for underrepresented groups to advance and take on leadership roles. Now we're gonna move on to the last part with Selma on preparing managers to lead Gen Zs.
So, I am going to be talking about the process of preparing managers to lead Gen Z employees. The points that I'm going to cover are first, understanding Gen Z, communication styles that work with Generation Z, feedback and recognition, flexibility and work life balance, diversity and inclusion, leadership development, mentoring and coaching, and finally, performance management. So first of all, understanding Gen Z characteristics. Members of Generation Z are now entering the workplace, and their values and priorities and ideas about work are not necessarily the same as those of older generations. So, to create a successful workplace environment, it is important for former and older managers/directors to keep Gen Z characteristics and values in mind while the work is in progress. In general, Gen Z characteristics and values in mind while work is in general, Gen Z characteristics are first of all that they are digital natives, which means that they are the most in touch with technology compared to other generations. Second of all, they are accepting. Gen Z are a very open-minded and accepting generation, and we can notice that with the emergence of the LGBTQ community and everything else. Third, they are health conscious individuals, and we can see that it emerged with the jobs of influencers and life coaches, etc. Fourth, they value mental health awareness, which means that Generation Z are a generation that actually that recognize mental health and that are willing to work to make it to make it good. Finally, I have flexible and adaptive to change, which means that individuals from Generation Z are very, very flexible and they are accepting to change, so they are okay with the changing environments. The second point that I'm going to cover are communication styles and how to effectively communicate with Gen Z employees. So, due to the specific characteristics that Generation Z holds, there are ways to communicate with them that are better than others, and it's essential to understand how to communicate with Generation Z in the workplace. Generation Z grew up extremely comfortable communicating through technology, and they are often described as having short-term memory span due to the frequent use of social media. This made them develop a capacity to identify what interests them within 6 to 8 seconds, according to connectteam.com. So, ensuring that Gen Z workers can connect and communicate instantly is essential. Now, I'm going to talk about some effective communication styles for managers to adopt while talking to Generation Z workers. First of all, prioritize mobile first. As I said, Gen Z are a connected generation with phones, laptops, PCs, etc., and they have on-demand access to information. Communicating with Generation Z using mobile-first communication can increase their productivity and maintain their engagement. Second of all, we have integrate human interaction. It is true that Gen Z fully embrace technology, but they still value real-life interaction because it gives them a chance to speak up their discomforts and their preferences in the workplace. The third point is support and promote diversity and inclusion. This is a very important point here because Generation Z expect to work in diverse environment. They expect also in employers to use the right approaches in terms of inclusion of everyone. Then we have communicate transparently. Communication of the eldest generation with the youngest transparently demonstrates commitment, trust, and respect toward Generation Z workers. As I previously stated, Generation Z are open and a very accepting generation, so it's better to communicate transparently without being ambiguous. Finally, I have feedback is essential because Generation Z can improve and thrive in their positions through regular feedback from their employers. It's a 100% effective communication strategy because Generation Z are willing to learn from their failures. The third point that I'm going to cover is feedback and recognition, providing feedback and recognition to Gen Z employees. Feedback improves employees' performances, and 66% of Generation Z said that they need feedback from their supervisors at least every week in order to stay at their job, according to inc.com. and how feedback is structured actually impacts its effect on employees. Generation Z employees prefer to have straightforward feedback, transparent and direct. And here are some tips to give well-structured feedback to Generation Z employees. First of all, you have to give tangible examples because Generation Z are not a generation that just obeys blindly or to orders, but they would rather have an example that they are following or set themselves as the example that they're going to follow. Second of all, I have relevant action steps because just talking isn't enough to motivate Generation Z workers to actually do their work in the workplace. So we have to give them something concrete to hold on to, and which are a relevant action step actually. Finally, I have a futuristic vision. It's kind of linked to relevant action step because futuristic vision is actually giving the employees something to look forward to, and reaching it will take some action steps. Fourth point, flexibility and work-life balance, creating a work environment that suits Gen Z employees. Generation Z are nothing like the older generations. Their values and preferences are kneeling towards interactional environments and open spaces. They feel comfortable in offices with present technology, it's very important, and lively atmosphere design, combination of both private and collaborative spaces, flexible work schedules, etc. And here are some illustrations of the office designs that are the most appealing to Generation Z employees. The fifth point I'm going to cover is diversity and inclusion, building a diverse and inclusive workplace for Gen Z employees. As mentioned previously, Generation Z are very inclusive generation that accept diversity in the workplace. The generation is the most racially and ethnically diverse, and its members are leaders of different sexualities, religions, genders, etc. In a recent study by Monster.com, 83% of Generation Z individuals stated that an employer's commitment to and acceptance to diversity and inclusion is an important factor to consider when choosing where to work. And this has forced companies to adopt DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, to attract Gen Z employees and keep up with the competition on the market. McKinsey and Company reported that organizations that were more culturally and ethnically diverse were 33% more likely to exceed their industry associates. And here shows the importance of building a diverse and inclusive workplace for Generation Z employees. The six points I will be talking about is leadership development, preparing managers to lead Gen Z employees. The uniqueness of Gen Z individuals require their managers to make use of a special way of leading in order to get the best of them. Generation Z are creative and open to share that creativity. So Gen Z managers should prioritize setting the floor to employees to share their ideas and vision. Effective preparation ways of Gen Z managers, according to Forbes.com, are first of all, support them in being their authentic selves in how they work, which kind of joins the idea of giving them the floor to share their creativity. Second of all, make sure the company commits to DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is very important. Then we have provide solid onboarding and development. To successfully manage Gen Z employees, they need to experience solid onboarding. They have to be challenged in a positive way by training, coaching, and planning, and mentoring, etc. Then we have demonstrate an impact on society. Leaders of Gen Z employees need to show that there is actually a purpose that they are following. There is a goal that they are looking forward to reach, and which will this is going to be the motivator for Generation Z employees. Seventh point is mentoring and coaching, supporting Gen Z employees through mentoring and coaching. The main role of mentoring and coaching is to guide future Gen Z workers in progressing towards their career aspirations. Their focus should not be on assisting them in accomplishing daily goals, but rather to help them focus on their personal growth and future accomplishments. How can mentoring and coaching help Gen Z employees, according to adekusa.com? First of all, college graduates benefit from coaching because Generation Z graduated in the middle of the pandemic. It was a turbulent time and half of them didn't find jobs on the market. Second of all, reduce Gen Z job hopping. This is self-explanatory. Reduce Generation Z individuals from hopping from a job to another. Then we have make Gen Z workers feel connected. This joins the points of technology. And finally, Gen Z values diversity-focused coaching, which means that organizations that focus on diversity are highly attractive to young people in today's job market. And surveys show that 83% of Gen Z job seekers value a company's commitment to DEI again. Now moving on to the last point, performance management, development performance management strategies that meet the needs of Gen Z employees. Generation Z are a different generation in many aspects, just like we've seen throughout this presentation. They have special expectations, characteristics, values, etc. And the same goes for the management strategies that meet their need. Therefore, it is important to use the appropriate management strategies to lead Gen Z workers and strategies that prioritize personal growth and openness. Fourth.com gave some ways to effectively manage Gen Z workers. First of all, lead by example. Gen Z would rather follow a successful example rather than blindly obey orders. Second of all, provide growth opportunities, which means that giving them opportunities that promote growth that are quite attractive to them, since they are a generation that thrives to change through change and diversity. Focus on the individuals. It means that Gen Z are motivated by being valued. It is true that the generation shares some common characteristics, but the individuals are still different from one another. Then we have be open to learning from them, because Generation Z are skilled in the use of technology and they have a lot to share. Since Gen Z are also advocates for equality, listening to them can be very beneficial. Lastly, we have be more flexible in management styles. Gen Z workers are more likely to stay with companies that offer them meaningful work, ownership of tasks, and a sense of belonging. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Salma. So I think what we could conclude from Salma's part is that to prepare managers to lead Gen Z employees, they should promote a culture of feedback and transparency, offer opportunities for mentorship and professional development, and also emphasize the importance of work-life balance and mental health support. So, in conclusion, Gen Z's entry into the labor market is an important development that will reshape jobs in the future. Gen Zers are motivated by a powerful sense of purpose, as I said earlier, and a desire to make a positive difference in the world that reflects their values and aspirations in life. Businesses must provide opportunities for growth and development, a powerful sense of community and ownership, and also embrace innovative technologies and ways of working. By adopting the values and motivations of Gen Z, businesses can create a more engaged and productive workforce and contribute to a better and more sustainable world. It is in our power to create an environment that nurtures the unique talents and aspirations of this generation and builds a better future for ourselves and the world we share. So now it's time for Q&A, and I'm seeing some questions. The first question is, do you think Gen Z are going to have a good impact on the workplace? Does any one of you answer, or want me to answer first? And then you guys? Okay, so for the impacts, I think that they will definitely have a good impact because, as I said earlier, Gen Zs are extremely motivated and they are money hungry. I'm sure that Gen Z, this generation, is going to have a huge impact and a great one on the future world and is going to make a lot of money. And the second question is, what are Gen Z? No, sorry. To Fatim Zahra, what measures you think is the best and what can employees take to ensure their workplace? their workplace is best suited to meet the needs of Generation Z between all the solutions you already said?
So I think that using technology to facilitate collaboration and communication is the best solution to adapt to Gen Z in the workplace because it allows for quick, efficient, and effective communication between employees, no matter their physical location. Technology also enables real-time collaboration, allowing teams to work together on projects in dynamic, interactive way. So it provides tools like video conferencing, document sharing, and feedback tools, and it enables also teams to work together seamlessly. So technology also make it easy to stay connected and keep informed, which is important for Gen Z, who thrive on staying up to date with the latest trends and developments. So technology also helps create a positive work environment, allowing for greater engagement and productivity, which is the key for Gen Z. That's the response for my question.
Okay, thank you so much, Selma. Fatem Zara, sorry. I have a question. How can feedback contain futuristic visions? Selma, you want to take it?
Futuristic vision means, as I explained before in the beginning, that you have to give Generation Z a concrete and clear vision of the future where they can project themselves and where they can actually set a goal for themselves, follow some action step and reach that goal. It can't be just talk. It has to be something concrete, something to hold on to. And futuristic vision joins relevant action step and also joins uh, future action steps.
Okay, thank you, Selma. We're gonna take one more question. What are Gen Z social values? Selma, you would like to answer it?
They respect straightforward communication, sincerity, and relevancy, and they are pragmatic. They are also big on self-care because they are so accustomed to solving problems on their own. They may be more inclined to challenge rules and authority than other individuals, when they were the Gen Zers age.
Okay, thank you. And we'll take one last question. It is directed for Almaz. Why is inclusivity that important for Gen Z in the workplace?
I think that diversity it is that important for Gen Z, because I think that Gen Z has grown up in a world that is more diverse than ever before, with wide ranges of cultures, races, ethnicity, gender identities. And I think that is why they want to make everyone feel valued and respected. And they are really passionate about social justice and equality. And Gen Z values the diversity and inclusivity in all areas of their lives. So obviously, it's going to include the workplace too.
Okay, thank you. Now we're gonna add one more question. Why do you think Gen Z is more efficient in the workplace? Wait, Fatima, I'm gonna add you.
So Gen Z is more efficient in the workplace because they have grown up in digital world where they have access to a variety of tools and resources to help them complete tasks quickly and efficiently. They are also tech savvy and have an understanding of the last trends.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for attending this webinar. And thank you also to my teammates for participating. Can you unmute yourself one by one? Started with Selma, please.
Thank you very much for watching our presentation.
Thank you everyone for listening to us and hope you liked it.
Thank you, guys, and hope it was good.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.